Okay, wonderful. Okay, we'll get started. So I know this is a very challenging task for me because this session is between, I mean, like just before lunch. So we'll just keep this session very short because Dr. Vishwanath has already given us good overview of what functions are and why we should be using functional programming versus non-functional or spaghetti code. So what we'll do is we'll just quickly start this session. So by the end of this session, you should be able to apply procedures and subcharts and analyze the differences between the two. You should also be able to define and implement functions in Raptor. So we usually define and implement functions using one of procedures or subcharts. So we'll actually see what these two are and how we actually can do functional programming. Actually, Dr. Vishwanath was giving you examples of compound interest and finding the minimum in the array. So that was actually programs that were done. So now we'll actually see how to implement functions. So coming to the prerequisites, you should be able to successfully run control and iterative programs, and you should also have working knowledge of arrays and strings. So I hope all of you are competent in all these topics. So with that assumption, we are moving forward. So why use functions? So enough has been said by Dr. Vishwanath. So I mean, like he's spoken a lot about why we should be using functional programming and all. So I won't be covering this topic. So we'll just give you a brief overview of what subcharts and procedures are. So for that, I'll so 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 we'll just share the slide, Raptor programs. Closing all my windows. I'm opening my Raptor program and I'll save this because I'll need to save my code. So saving this, so this is 6 4 example 1. So once I do this, so I hope my Raptor screen is visible to all. So we'll just get started. Okay. So let's look at what a subchart is and what a procedure is. So before we start, there's one thing that you should note that Raptor, there's something called as mode. Okay. So this mode actually tells Raptor which mode to run in. So there are like three modes. One is novice, the other is intermediate, and the third is object oriented. So we'll actually be using novice and intermediate modes. Object oriented mode is beyond the scope of this course. So coming to novice mode, so by default we are in the novice mode. So let's right click on main. So you can see something called as add subchart. Okay, let's click on this. So in the novice mode you can see that there are only three options over here. One is add subchart, the other is delete, the other is rename. Okay, let's change our mode to intermediate. Okay, and right click over here. Now you can see that there's something called as add procedure. So the first difference between subchart and procedure is procedures are available only in the intermediate mode. So in novice mode only you'll be able to work only with subcharts. Okay. So now let's see what a subchart is. So I'll just click on this. So subchart is nothing but a function and it doesn't take any input or output parameters. So I mean, like if you have already worked with functions, you should be familiar with what parameters are. I mean, like taking in any input and input output parameters. So a subchart is nothing but a basic function which doesn't take any parameters. So let's say I'll say a demo function. So demo function is the name of my subchart. So I'll say okay. So if you can see, your subchart is also similar to your main program. Okay. So it's also a directed graph. It has a start and it has an end. So this is how your subcharts work. Okay. So this is the basic subchat is also similar like this. So now let's go to the intermediate mode and let's add a procedure as well. Okay. So I'll add a procedure. So if you see over here, for the procedure, it's something different. It's asking for a procedure name. There are also these parameters. Okay. And you can either specify the input parameter or an output parameter. Okay. So we have up to 6 parameters that we can define over here. So parameter is nothing but a variable that we can define. So before we get into this, let us look at another example. Like let us look at an example that we already done. So let's take a simple example of a function and implement this. Okay. So we'll take a simple example. This example reads an integer a and it calls different functions. Okay. So it calls a function large if a is greater than 100. It calls a function medium if a is less than 50, between 50 and 100, and it calls a function small if it is less than 50. Okay. So now what you can see that there are no input parameters, right? The function is blank functions. All these are blank functions. So the best thing is we'll need to use a subchart for doing this program. Okay. So now we'll go back to our Raptor screen, and what we'll do is we'll remove this subchart and we'll add three more subcharts. One is called large, the other is medium, and the other is small. So I'm adding 3 subcharts, and in my main program I'll read an input number. Okay. So I'll say enter a number. So I won't be doing the checks over here. I mean, I won't be checking. I'll just be assuming that the user has inputted a number. So if you want, you can modify this code. You can do the checks and all. So I'll say input number. Okay. So once I'll take the input. So now what? Coming back to our program, I should check if the number is greater than 100 or not. If it is greater than 100, I should call a function large, and in that function I should print large. So what I'll do is I'll just use my selection statement. So I'll drag and drop selection. So over here I can check if input number is greater than 100. Okay. If input number is greater than 100, I should call large, right? For calling a subchart or a procedure, we have something called a symbol called call over here. So I'll just drag and drop this over here, and in this call I should call the function. So the function's name is nothing but large. So as and when you are typing, you can see that there's a function large. So I'll just say enter. So I'm calling large because the number is greater than 100. I'll call. So what if the number is greater than 100? I should print that the number is large, right? So in my large function, I'll just output large. Okay. So now let's get back to our program and let's see what will happen if I enter a number, say 101. So I'm entering 101. Click on OK. So if you can see, large is being called, right? So what happens? It checks if the number is greater than 100. Yes, the number is greater than 100, and it's going to this function call. So it is calling large, and the control comes to large, and it's displaying large. Okay. So now we can actually implement our other functions also. Like if it is medium, we'll just output medium, because there's nothing much to do in this program. We'll just need to display if the function is large, the number is large, medium, or small. So I'll just in my small function I'll say small. Okay. So now coming back to my main, over here I'll have another selection. Now I'll need to check if number is between 100 and 50. So I'll just check if input number less than equal to 100, and so this is an operator and which checks if two statements are true. Okay, and input number greater than or equal to 50. So this is our second condition. If this is satisfied, we'll need to call medium. So I'll just drag and drop this over here. I'll say medium. So this is there. So medium. Else, if both these conditions are not true, we'll need to call small. So I'll call small over here. And this is done. So I hope this this program is clear and all the function calls, how to call a function is clear. So let's see our let's run our code. We'll just say 100 and see this should print medium. So let's see what it's printing. So it's printing medium. Perfect. So we can try, I mean, like, try with different inputs and see what will happen. So I can type in 9 and 9 small is being printed. So all this are like we can try with different test cases and check if our program is running or not. So coming back to our program, I hope all of you are clear on how to call a function and how to define a function. Well, I can understand that this is a very basic program. So we'll actually do a more complicated example now next. So let me know if all of you are now aware of how to define a function and how to call a function. Is all of you are aware? Just type in S if you are aware, otherwise type in no. Okay. Bapatla College, are you now okay? Okay. What about PVP Siddhartha? Can you just raise your hand if this concept is clear to everybody? Okay, 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 perfect. So now let's do a more complicated example. So we'll see how to read two by two arrays and perform the following operations on them. So it's a more complicated example. We'll just do only one of these operations. So I'll just do addition operation on this. So if we'll just go to our wrap console. I'm saving this. I'll create a new file. I'll save this. Save this as session. Okay. So coming back to our program, I'll need to read two 2x2 arrays or 2 by 2 arrays and perform addition or subtraction on them. So if you can see, we'll get back to our notepad. So my input should be 2 x 2 or 2 by 2 arrays. Okay. So to take this input, I should read these arrays, right? So what I'll do is I'll read these arrays in a function. So I'll tell you why I'll be using this function. So before that, if you recall what we did, like when we were reading arrays, we were following this double loop, right? Nested loops for a 2x2 array. And let's say we need to read another array, we were following another 2x2 loop, right? So we were using two double loops to read two arrays. So now let's use functions and use only one nested loop to read this function. Okay. So for that, let's see what we need to do. So I'll add a procedure over here because my function will now read a array because I'll need to perform some operations. So my function will read an array. So what I'll do is I'll put the procedure name as read array, and I'll need to take an input. Let's call this input as array. So I'll just show a function of how to read an array. So the parameter is nothing but array. Okay. Okay. So now coming back to our main program, what I'll do is in the procedure, I'll write my logic. So my logic is nothing but a nested loop. So I'll have two loops over here first, and now I'll do some assignment operation over here. So let's say my so if you remember our previous example, in the array example, we'll have a inner loop and an outer loop, right? So the inner counter and outer counter. So I'll say inner counter to 1, and I'll assign the outer counter over here. I'm sorry. I'll assign the inner counter over here because this is the inner loop, and the outer counter equal to 1. Okay. So this is the outer loop and this is the inner loop. Okay. So I'll also need to do the increments. So I'll do the inner counter equal to inner counter plus 1. And for the same thing for the outer counter also I'll do the assignment. So this is nothing but a simple reading array. So you can recall what we did in our example yesterday. So this is similar to that. Okay. So now my condition should be, because this is a 2 cross 2 array, so my condition should be till inner counter is equal to 2. Okay. So till I read 2 elements or 2 columns, I'll need to run this loop. Similarly, the outer counter is also the same, till outer counter equal to 2. Okay. So now what I should be doing is I should be reading the array, right? So I'll take the input over here. So I'll read the array element over here. So what I'll do is enter value, and this value should be equal to array of outer counter comma inner counter. Okay. So I hope this is clear. This is nothing but reading an 2-dimensional array using a nested loop, one with inner counter and outer counter. So this example has been covered yesterday. So this is how we actually do this read an array, double dimensional array, right? So now let's get back to our main program, and what we'll do is we'll do an assignment statement over here. So we'll first define a double dimensional array. So let's say this as array 1, and we'll say it's 2 comma 2 because it's a 2-dimensional array, 2 cross 2 dimension. So we're setting all the values to 0. Okay. So we'll actually need 2 arrays because we'll need to perform addition, right? So for the second array, what we'll do is we'll say array 2 of 2 comma 2. We'll also set these values to 0. Okay. So in the main program, we have initialized 2 arrays, two double dimensional arrays, and set their values to 0. Now what we should be doing is we should be reading these values, reading the values of array 1 and also the values of array 2, right? So if you can see over here, what we are doing is, in our procedure, we have written the logic to read the values into an array, but into which array we should be reading these values, that is not clear. Okay. What we'll do is, so if you can see this procedure, it is written as in array. So what Raptor understands by reading this is, it says, okay, whenever I call this function, say read array, there should be an input with the variable name should be array, or the variable that we are using over here. So there should be an input, and that can be a variable. Okay. So let's go back over here. Let's call our procedure. Because we have array 1, what we'll do is we'll say read array, and we'll send this array 1 as the input. Okay. So let's see what will happen if we do this. We have written a procedure. It's taking an input, and it should be reading these values. Okay, so now let's see what will happen. So let's run our program, and I'll run it in step-by-step fashion. So we'll see what will happen. So if you can see over here, we inner counter is 1, outer counter is 1. So it has entered that loop. So we'll need to enter a value. So I'll enter a value 1. Okay. So now if you can see over here, nothing is happening. Array 1. So I'll say 2. You see over here we are entering the values. 2 is being entered. I'll say 3. 3 is being entered over here. 4. 5. So there's some program. I think there's some logic error in my program. So if you can see over here, my inner counter is only 1 still. Outer counter is also 1. So this loop is not being executed. So we'll just see what's mistake with our code. Just increase the size. You can see over here, first thing what it checks is the outer counter equal to 2? Outer counter is not 2. So outer counter is 1. So outer counter is incremented. So what we'll do is we'll execute step by step. So we'll see what's happening. So we first initialized an array with 2 rows and 2 columns and all the size is 0. Okay. After we execute this, it's going to this. So there are again an array of size 2 by 2 with 2 zeros and 2 columns. All values are 0. So now once we get into this procedure, what's happening? Let's see. So we are getting into this procedure. So we are over here. So there's an array. So we have defined an array because the input that we have sent is array 1 over here, and array 1 is all zeros. So that is the input that is sent to the read array procedure. We can see over here. So now what we've done, outer counter is 1. So there'll be a value, say outer counter, that is equal to 1. And once we are getting into the loop, inner counter is 1. So now inner counter is 1 over here, if you can see. So now we are asking for a value, get array outer counter comma inner counter. So we'll enter a value, say 1. So if you can see, it is being stored in this array, right? So 1. So now again we'll go to the next step. Inner counter equal to inner counter plus 1. So inner counter becomes 2, and again we are doing, okay. So I've actually put a wrong loop over here. So this should actually be over here. So now our code should actually work. So let's run our code again. So this is how actually you will need to debug your code if you are facing any issues. So we'll just run our code and see if it's actually working now. So I'll enter a value 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we can see we are getting again a error. It's saying specified argument was out of the range of valid values. So let's get back to our read thing. Checking it's 1, it's 2, it comes up. So we'll again run our code in loop mode. We'll just run this quickly. So our code has worked properly. The run has been completed and 29 symbols have been evaluated. So there's nothing wrong with the code. So what we should be doing over here is, if you can see the code, it's reading into an array. It's reading some values into that array, but it is not storing it in that array, right? If you can observe that. So what we should be doing over here is, go to our procedure and we'll modify our procedure. So what we'll do over here is nothing but we'll just say input and output are the same. Okay. So when we say input and output are the same, whatever we input into this procedure, that is array 1, the same value will be returned. Okay. So if you can now, let's run our code in step mode and see what will happen. So two arrays are there. This is in the only in the main program. So now we are getting into the read array program. So we'll just see what's happening. So outer counter, inner counter, we have all this. I'll just do it quickly. 1, 2, 3. So I'm entering only 4 values. So it's a 2 by 2. So if you notice over here, 1, 2, 3, 4 are stored in this, and nothing is stored over here yet. So let's see what will happen now. So please just notice over here, only in the procedure read array there are some values 1, 2, 3, 4. Whereas in the main program, the array 1 values are still 0. So now let's run this. So now did you see the change? Once we are coming out of this procedure, or the procedure has finished executing, then you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4 are there in array 1. Okay. So now I hope this is clear how to pass a array and also get the values into that array. Is that operation clear? Did everybody understand that operation? Was I clear? Did everybody get that? Okay. Okay. What about VR Siddhartha and Bapatla College? Okay. Bapatla College, was that clear? How to read into that array and get the values? Okay. Okay. Thank you. So now I think you understood how to read this. So what we'll do is, we'll again give a call, and what we'll say is, okay, I'll stop this code. So I'll say read array, and for this I'll send array 2. Okay. So if you can see over here, I'm using the same set of code, the same lines of code, and I'm actually passing the first array and also the second array. So if you can recall what Vishwanath sir was mentioning, he said functions are used for code optimization or reuse of the code, right? So the same set of code can actually be used for reading in another array values, another double dimensional array values, right? So let's run our code and see if both the arrays are being read or not. I'll enter values. For the first array, I'm entering 1, 2, 3, and 4. For the second array, I'll enter 9, 8, 7, and 6. So 9, 8, 7, 6. So let's see if the values are read. So you can actually see that array 2 has 9, 8, 7, 6, and array 1 has 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So our running fine, and we are able to read the arrays. But our main operation is to perform addition on these arrays, right? So I'll do one thing, I'll add another procedure. I'll say add arrays. So this is the procedure name, and for this I'll need to pass 2 inputs, and the inputs would be nothing but array 1 and array 2, because I'll need to pass 2 arrays, and the output of this program should be a sum array, array sum or sum array. A sum over here is the addition of these two arrays. Okay. Okay. So now coming to the definition of this procedure, I can actually copy the same line of code. I can copy this code. I'll copy this. I'll paste it over here. So I can actually use the same lines of code because it's nothing but using the same double loop, the nested loop, and adding these. So what I'll do over here is I'll just add these two. So instead of having an input, what I'll do is I'll have an assignment statement, and over here, because since sum array is nothing but adding the array values, I'll just say sum array of outer counter comma inner counter. So it's nothing but matrix addition. So I hope all of you are aware of how matrix addition is done. So a1 comma 1 is nothing but a1 comma 1 plus b1 comma 1 is equal to c1 comma 1. So that's how we are doing. So that I'm doing just that. So array 1 of outer counter comma inner counter is array 2 of outer counter comma inner counter. So I'm just doing this. So what this procedure will do is it will add these two arrays and store it in the sum array, and this sum array is the output. So I should be catching this sum array into an array. Okay. So what I'll do is, so I'll call this sum array. So I'll say array add arrays. So add arrays. I'll just use add arrays. What I can say is add arrays. So the input should be array 1 because we have array 1 and array 2 as our inputs, and the output should be some array. So I'll say array 3. Okay. And now I'll define an array 3 over here. I'll say array 3 of 2 comma 2 is equal to 0. So I'm defining a temporary array which stores the sum of array 1 and array 2. So now what we'll do is I'll run our code. So I'm adding the values. So I'll say 1, 2, 3 and 4. And for the second array I'm entering 9, 8, 7 and 6. So if you can see, array 3 will have values 10, 10, 10 because I'm adding 1, 2, 3, 4 and 9, 8, 7, 6. So it should be 10, 10, 10, 10. So this program is working fine, but I need to display the array as well, right? So what I'll do is I'll write another procedure which is nothing but display array, and it takes an input which is nothing but an array, and it will just display that. So what I can do is I'll just need to print the array, right? So I can actually use the same code that we are using. I'll copy this and paste it over here, and instead of this assignment statement, I'll just use the output statement, and what I'll do is I'll just output the values. So what I'll do is array of outer counter comma inner counter. I'm just displaying these values that are there in that array. So before that I'll need to copy this line as well and put it over here. Okay. So now I'll need to call this display array. So I'll just do this over here. Say display. So we have display array, and I'll say array 3 because array 3 stores the sum value, the value of the addition of array 1 and array 2. It's being stored over here. So I'll just run this code again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 8, 7 and 6. So now I'm able to get the output 10, 10 and 10 and 10. Okay. I hope this is clear. How to read. I hope this is clear. How to read two arrays, perform addition on them, and displaying the result. So we've actually used three functions for doing this, and since the functions use are actually taking an input and out returning some values, we'll need to use procedures. If our function doesn't require any input parameter, we can use a subchart like we observed in the example 1. So I hope this is clear to everybody how to. If you want to display in matrix format also, we can do that. We'll just need to change the code over here. If you want, we can try that. Like we just need to change something over here, but I'm not aware of how to do that. So I don't know how to display it in the matrix format, but you are free to do that. So you can explore that and let us know. So, but I don't know how to display it in matrix format. So I hope this is clear. How to read the array, do perform addition, and how to display the. Okay, thank you. What about the other colleges? Okay. Okay. So there are some workout problems for you to work them out on. If you, we can actually take a break over here. We can take a lunch break over here, and maybe we can meet after say an hour. Now the time is 12:54. Can we meet at 1:54 or let's say 2 o'clock? Maybe after that we can actually do these workout problems. If it is not late for lunch, we can do that. Otherwise, you can. Okay. So we'll meet at 2 p.m. We've actually put this PPT on the portal for you to see. So if those of you who have finished lunch quickly, you can come back and work out these problems. So these are all some problems that you can work. So once you return, we'll do this session on recursion. It's a very important concept and a very tricky concept. So once we can do the session on recursion, and after which the session will end. So let's say we start at 2, this should be ending by 3:30. After which we'll open up we'll have another open session wherein if you have any doubts, we'll be here to clear them. So we'll be here. So if you we'll meet again at 2 o'clock. Okay. So the session will be there. If you have any doubts, you can type in the chat window. Okay. So I just want to remind you all to please register on the portal, because that is the only way you can actually submit the tasks or actually view the tasks. So please register yourselves on the portal. So for your reference, I'm typing in the portal link over here. So you can actually go there and see this link. I'm increasing the text size as well. So this is the link. You'll need to go to this link and register yourself. Okay. Okay. So expecting to see you all again at 2 o'clock. So we'll meet in 1 hour time. We'll open this session. So it'll be open like this. So the workout problems also are open. So if anybody has, anybody of you will be having a quick lunch and coming back, you can actually do these programs. So we'll meet you again at 2 o'clock. Good afternoon, everybody. So we'll okay. I hope you are all working on the workout. Hope we got some time to work on this practice workouts. So just in case you didn't get much time, there's a session in the evening today after 3:45, wherein you can practice on these codes. I mean, like the session will be from 3:30. So now we'll just go ahead and do the last session for today. Just give us a second. There's some technical issue from our end, at our end. So we'll just give us 5 minutes. We'll just fix it. Good Level College. If you want to see the videos, uh,
AView Classroom is a simple, user
Okay, okay. Good afternoon, everybody. So we'll just get started with the session. So we have seen how to use functions, how to define functions. We have also done some example problems. So now let's do these workouts. So I hope all these PPTs are available to you on the portal. So what we'll do is I'll just take if any doubts if you have regarding these workouts, how to do them and all for the next 15 minutes. After which we'll start the final session, that is on recursion, so that you can get started. There's anyway a practice session today, that's for an hour. So from 4 to 5 we can take the practice session. So you can do these workout problems during that time. So I'll show each slide for say a couple of minutes. All of you can go through this problem, and then you can, if you have any doubts, you can ask us. So we'll clear your doubts regarding these workouts. So let's start with workout 1. If you have any doubts, please let us know. We'll be on this slide for the next 2 minutes. If you don't have any doubts regarding this workout, just say no, so that we'll go to the next workout. If you have any doubts, please ask the doubt. Yeah, you can press the hand raise button. It is available in your AView window. It's on the bottom left corner. So if you click on the hand raise, we'll give you the option to talk. Like you can ask your doubt. I'm sorry. How to convert number to string? So in this problem, I mean, like, so is this doubt pertaining to this workout, or it's a separate doubt? It's something different, right? This is not pertaining to workout 1. Eh, So, yeah, okay. So, let's say you want to convert a number to a string, you can use the ASCII code. But like I said in the morning, in CT, it doesn't, I mean, like, have anything like a number and string. So, it actually stores, there are only 2 data types. It has to be either a number or a, okay, or a string. So, I mean, like if you've seen the example that we did, like converting from uppercase to lowercase, I mean, sorry, from the lowercase to the uppercase, we did minus 32 and all, right? Hello? Is this clear? So there's also a function called toASCII. Okay, if you want to convert 1001 to 1000 to a string, you'll actually need to read this as a string. 1000 and I mean whatever that 10,001. Yeah. The format to upload files, it is put up on the portal. I mean, like there's a naming convention. So you'll need to use that same format, and you'll need to upload only your Raptor files. Don't upload the backup files .bp or something, what bup or something. There's another file that comes. So only submit your Raptor file .rap. Don't submit the backup files. So why do you want to take 10,001 as a string? Bapatla College, I'll do one thing. I'll put you on. I'll accept so you can talk. Bapatla College, can you switch on your video so that I can put you on talk mode so you can talk? Yeah. So Bapatla College, you
Hello.
can talk. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please. So what is your question, sir?
Name the
You have a question?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Ma'am.
the morning you have given a workout now, sir.
Yes. చెప్పండి మ్యామ్. హలో.
Sir, morning you ఒక workout ఇచ్చారు కదా సార్ స్ట్రింగ్స్ పైన.
Yes. Ma'am, can you speak a bit loud? Your voice is not audible to us.
Morning you have given us workout now, sir, on strings, how to find
Yes.
out the occurrences of strings, like
Yes,
number
yes,
of
yes,
ones.
yes, yes.
That we are unable to do, sir. Just want to know how.
Okay. So how are you reading that as?
String number.
For the morning thing, you need not read the number as a string. You can read it as a number as well. Did we specifically say that it should be a string?
No, sir.
Yeah, so you can read a number also, so that won't be a problem. But let's say you're reading it as a number, you can perform like some operations on it, right? Hello? So, okay, if anybody has doubt regarding this workout one, we'll take that up now. Otherwise, we'll move to the second workout. Okay, moving to the second workout. Okay, Sri Chetan, you have a doubt?
Hello?
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 Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, yes, I can hear.
So good afternoon, sir. So in the
Good
morning
afternoon,
session
sir.
you are given, yeah, in the morning session you are given that 2 by 2 matrix. I don't know how to print in the matrix format. So
Okay.
can you give any suggestion or any output formatting functions for printing in the matrix format?
Yeah, that's what I actually don't know that. I don't know.
Okay. If any is there, we will try it.
Okay. Okay, okay. Just a second. One of our colleague has the answer. Just a second.
How to upload the file? Can you give the file format? What is the format
Sir.
for?
Yes, yes. Is it not available on the portal? We have put up some naming convention.
It's not. It's not available.
Okay. Just a second. We'll just find out.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Sir, regarding your first question, one of our colleague is suggesting a solution. So whenever you go to, okay, I'll share my desktop for this. When we go to this output statement, can you see my Raptor screen? So when we go to this Raptor, this output statement, we can see that there's something called as end current line. So if you click on this, the numbers will be displayed in a straight line. Okay. And I'll just remove this. And after the full row is displayed, you can put another output statement and don't I mean like just leave it as is. So then what will happen is the next output will be printed in the next line. So that is how we can actually do. So is this clear? Is this clear? Clear?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Is it clear?
Sir, it's clear. We have another doubt.
Sir.
Sir, in the morning question, the string, one strings in a given string, we need to find the number of one strings in that problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir, how to accept the string? That is the problem. It is when we input the string consisting of ones and zeros, it is accepted as a number, not a string.
Okay.
So how to solve that problem?
So
Because
one thing is, so you can actually read it as a number
sir.
and append it to a blank string.
Okay, sir.
So what will happen is it will be stored as a string.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Is it clear?
Sir. Clear, sir.
I think Sindhu ma'am's doubt will also be cleared. Sindhu ma'am from Bapatla. Okay. So any doubts from Sri Chaitanya? Is the matrix doubt cleared? Like, are you able to now get the output?
It's a clear, but you'll try it, sir. Clear?
Okay, okay, sure. Okay,
Right.
sure, sure. Please,
Thank you.
please. Yep. We don't have any other doubts, we'll proceed.
Okay, sir. No doubts. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. So no doubts in workout 2, or you need some time? I think, okay, what we'll do is, we'll go to the last session, that is on recursion. We'll give you some time because you'll need to do these workouts, and then only maybe you'll get doubts. So I'll open,